pace car is away. We are about to get underway from Richmond. Tony Stewart, your pole sitter, pulls away already away from Jimmy Johnson. Is going to be by himself heading into turn one, side by side. Behind him, though, with Mark Martin and Jimmy Johnson stuck on the high side. And the immediate thing to watch for on this initial restart, you're already going to see right here is a bunch of three wide. And three wide, right off this first couple of corners might be okay, but if they go three wide a couple laps in, that's going to be where the chaos point's happening. You see Terry Labonte up there, goes all the way up to the top lane, is going to lose a bunch of spots out of it. And Gary, this is not a good start for Terry Labonte at all. He got pushed three wide and has lost a ton of spots since and is still stuck three wide.
Certainly doesn't have enough frost in that flake there, as I'm seeing him continue to go backwards. And oh my goodness, he's really going backwards now. Craven is going to go up and over. Jeff Gordon turn head on into the inside wall, saves it here. We're going to have about one or extra, maybe 1-2 cars as well get involved in. Well, there we have it, Jay. It only took a lap and a half. And the caution flies, and Rusty Wallace is having a bit of a rough caution period.
Turn 2, lap 2. Ricky Craven and Rusty Wallace make contact, and up and over goes Ricky Craven. Into the background, you're going to see Jeff Gordon almost get turned head onto the inside wall, but luckily he does not. Only just slaps it with the left side and is able to keep it going under this first caution. But now it's Tony Stewart challenging to his inside, and the inside lane, Gary, is going to be important for Tony Stewart here. Pushes Mark Martin up, but then Mark Martin actually is going to get the launch off the corner, and they're still side by side heading into turn 3.
Mark Martin using that Viagra power on the outside. How hard is he racing right now? Maybe just not hard enough. Maybe this time he's saving that peak for later, Jay, as they head down into turn 1. But certainly putting up a good fight on that outside. I mean, we are no stranger to seeing that number 6 car up at the front in the early portions of these races. But I think Stewart's going to have the edge right here down into turn 3. Sure enough, he's going to get clear. But Jay, Martin's got to watch over Jimmy Johnson, who's trying to fill that hole there on the inside.
We stay green, no actual incident on the track this time, but oh, there might have been one there between teammates again. The 15 and the 8, they both make a fantastic save.
No, Mikey.
And these two have been going at it for the last couple of laps, Gary. Now what it's done is put Michael Watchup on the bottom of 3 wide, got a little bit of contact with Bobby Labonte right there, and now it's Dale Jr. on the outside of 3 wide again. Jr. had no momentum off turn 4 right there, and Labonte might push his way up here, and Dale Jr. in the outside wall. Tags always going to get turned by Ricky Rudd, who couldn't save the car. Jeff Burton going to come in and hit him. And I think Ricky Rudd also got hit as well. That's going to be caution number 2 of the day. Jimmy Spencer involved in that. I see Andretti getting hit. Everybody piling in. Yep, Jeff Gordon might have been involved in both of our crashes so far early today. Turn 2 once again. This time it's Bobby Labonte and Dale Jr. making contact. Jr. hits the outside wall. Ricky Rudd gets loose. Couldn't save the car and spins back into Jr. They both go spinning down the track. Here comes Jeff Burton, who hits Dale Jr. pretty hard. And then Jimmy Spencer makes contact, and everybody comes piling in back here. And you're going to see a whole lot of cars get collected right there. Jeff Gordon in it. Steve Park. John Andretti is smoking. Looks like he might be done for the day. A lot of cars got involved and got heavy damage in that crash.
Jay, it looks like that 12 of Newman, certainly so far.
Maybe I think we're in a caution, actually. We are.
I was going to say, I think the caution is out here in Richmond.
We'll have to go look and see what just caused this third caution of the day, and I'm going to guess it comes from somewhere in this group right here. This time it's the exit to turn 4, and Ward Burton is going to tag Jeff Gordon and then continue to push him all the way around. He spins and hits the outside wall and almost does get actually a little bit of contact with Steve Park, but not too much damage from there, and that is why we're under caution once again. But Bill Elliott getting the track position here, and Gary, he suddenly has shown some speed all of a sudden, and he's hanging with Tony Stewart at least. Oh, Ward Burton just tagged the wall pretty hard in the background, but they all get by it. They all I saw Kyle Petty getting turned in the background. He actually, he saved it. He goes back straight. He makes some contact with Robbie Gordon. This time off turn 2 once again. 3 cars come into 1, and Michael Watchup just stays in it and pretty much turns Kyle Petty, who does eventually save it. And that's pretty much all we had right there. A little bit of contact between him and Robbie Gordon, but that is why we're under caution. Now Jimmy Johnson is making the move to the inside of Ryan Newman, Gary, and Johnson is showing some real speed with these brand new tires here. Maybe he got some adjustments in as well. He might be able to go past Tony Stewart in a moment.
Jimmy Johnson is on the move in that Lowe's number 48 machine, looking for his first win in this 2002 season, which would also be his first career win at this time here. Now, as he's all over the back of that Home Depot machine, Jay, we have the battle of the hardware stores up at the front here. Now, who's it going to be? Is it going to be Lowe's or is it going to be Home Depot here? This is what everybody wants to know here, the battle between the two stores.
I don't even think it's gonna be much of a competition there. You saw Jimmy Johnson pretty much drive right past Tony Stewart. Has the advantage of being on the fresh tires. Tony Stewart has not yet pitted this race, so he's still on 43 lap old tires, and as well hasn't made any kind of adjustments to that car. Jimmy Johnson has, and so that was basically an easy pass for Jimmy Johnson.
Can he get an extra point out of this here as he looks for that 4th position? You got DeWalt versus UPS here as they head down this back straightaway for the final time. But Jay, it's cruise control for that number 48 machine.
Jimmy Johnson is going to easily win this stage, and Matt Kenseth is going to cement himself into 4th place as well as this stage ends right there across the line. That time, Matt Kenseth gets 4th place. Dale Jarrett falls down into 5th. Oh, we have a caution. We have a caution out on the track once again, and it is for the one of Steve Park and the 30 of Jeff Green. So coming off turn 4, Jeff Green has some kind of mechanical issue that sparks this incident. He's slowed down the front straightaway. Everybody, for the most part, is able to get out of the way until he turns down right in front of Johnny Benson, and then Steve Park and Kurt Busch also involved in that as well. And Kurt Busch's day has just immediately gone from bad to worse. And everybody who just pitted, they're mired way back in the field now. They were pretty much dead last. Now it's going to take Jimmy 4 wide with the 18, the 44, and the 10, and Jimmy survives it, but the 10 or the 44 does not. Gets into the outside wall pretty hard. That's Jerry Nadeau, but luckily they all get away with it. Nobody crashes. So Jimmy Johnson is tearing his way through this field currently. He's already up to 15th place and is making these positions up a lot faster than I thought he would. Only though about 30 laps to go, or just under 30 laps to go in the stage, so not a whole lot of time for Jimmy Johnson to make up time here, or to make up ground here in Richmond, because these laps do go by so fast. But up here in the front again, it's still Matt Kenseth pulling way away from Tony Stewart.
Johnson still's had a nice recovery drive here in this second stage, now into the top 10, but like you said, they get a bit of a more of a reset button, I guess you can say, at the end of this second stage. And I mean, he's gonna be, of course, down on track position no matter what at the beginning of stage 3, but we know there's a lot of speed under the hood of that number 48 Lowe's machine.
Matt Kenseth is going to cruise to victory easily in stage number 2, this time by almost 5 seconds ahead of second place Tony Stewart, who's going to get second in the stage. But that concludes stage number 2, Gary, and Matt Kenseth put on an absolute clinic right there. But now it's time for Jimmy Johnson to finally get back on even playing field with everybody and show what he really has. Tony Stewart actually is going to take Matt Kenseth immediately side by side. Tony Stewart was one of the faster cars you saw earlier in the race. Now they're all on the same set of tires, and Tony is immediately showing the speed that he has, taking over the lead of this race. But Jimmy Johnson right there in the background, you see him trying to make a pass side by side with Bill Elliott. These two are going to be scrapping at it. Actually may not be scrapping at it for long, because Jimmy Johnson looked like he had the pass made almost there for a second there, but then he slid up in the middle of the corner, still side by side with him. Can't get the pass done. Robbie Gordon right there as well, almost contact with him. Well, this time around, Jeff Gordon I think might be, he just barely, he slid up right in front of that 40 car right there. Was barely clear. And yeah, Bobby Labonte is going to make the move to the inside of Jeff Gordon. I was just going to say that Jeff was made up a couple spots on that lap, was up to 13th, but might be down to 14th here, and he is going to be down to 14th, 3 wide right behind him. But Bobby Labonte is showing some speed as well once again. But if he could get a top 10 out of it after the way he looked earlier in this race, that would show that this team has no fight, it has no quit, and certainly he's going to always be in contention even when his car is not the best.
Well, you know what you said, has no fight. I think that would mean,
or has no quit. Sorry, fight. Yeah, he has. Yeah,
no quit.
All fight, no quit is what I meant.
Fight, quit, no quit, fight it does have here as he exits turn 2, and he's closing in on the back of that number 12 of Ryan Newman. That gap is closing, but I'm surprised that number 48 hasn't gotten a little bit closer to that number 20.
The 20 and the 48, they're both starting to run away from the field. But yeah, like you mentioned, Jimmy Johnson hasn't gotten up to Tony Stewart yet to try to make the pass, but he's got that gap down by about half. It was just under a second when he started, or when he got into second place. And now it's just under half a second between these two. This has pretty much been a season best run for Bill Elliott, but you know what? Right behind him, who we failed to notice, Mark Martin is just creeping into the top 5. He has been on the move to start stage number 3. He started outside the top 15, and just 20 laps into it is now inside the top 5.
Might have the fastest car on the track right now. I mean, I was paying attention to the timing, and even in that battle he just had with that number 88 of Dale Jarrett, he didn't even lose half a tenth of a second. Now let's see what happens this time though. 3.82, it's going to be 3.83. So even in traffic, he's barely losing anything. So that number 6 car, I mean, has some legitimate speed. The only problem is, Jay, well, I mean, exactly what we're looking at is it's a 3.8 second gap, and we're already coming up on what, 30 laps to go, just about.
Oh, I see some smoke on the track. That might be a caution. It is. It looks like I see the emergency lights on, and I do see the yellow flag being waved. I think I just saw the 9 or 19 on the pit lane right there. It's the 9 of Bill Elliott, who is having a fantastic run inside the top 5 on the pit lane. So Bill Elliott inside the top 5, having trouble with lap cars. Kurt Busch, he just turns Kurt Busch into the inside wall, and then gets hit by Kurt. He goes and slaps the inside wall, then goes back up the track and slaps the outside wall, and that is going to pretty much end Bill Elliott's day, who had to tow. Mark Martin, arguably, Gary, has been the fastest car on the track. Might not be fastest on the track right now because they're 4 wide, and yeah, there he goes into the wall. Big time crash from Mark Martin. And that might get others involved as well. We were talking about Mark Martin might be one of the fastest cars on the track, but he had to deal with some lap cars. That put them 4 wide, and he gets turned and put hard into the outside wall. Goes up and over on, or not up and over, but goes up on 2 tires. Gets hit by Kyle Petty as well to add insult to injury. So that also hurts Kyle Petty's day as well. But luckily, nobody else involved up here in this big mess. And Mark Martin, Gary, this time he truly did peak too early. We have not seen Jimmie Johnson be able to officially take the fight to Tony Stewart yet. We haven't seen him get side by side, so when we thought Jimmie was the fastest car in this race earlier, I think it was really just Tony Stewart being off sequence and not being on the same tire as him, and now that they are on the same tire, Tony Stewart has shown that he is truly got the better car today.
You might be correct. Only 14 laps to go. Jimmie Johnson running out of time. 4/10 of a second the gap. Nearly 9/10 of a second to that number 17 of Matt Kenseth. 1.3 seconds to that number 88 of Dale Jarrett last time by Jeff Gordon. Now into the top 10.
Terry Labonte is smoking and is blowing up. Let's see if he's able to make it to the pit lane clean. He does, so nobody's going to hit him, luckily, and that will leave us under green. That time by it stays the exact same, actually. So these two, like I said, running pretty much even lap times, Gary, and both of them are sliding up and running 1 and 2 really aggressively, but Jimmie Johnson, I think, does have a better car in 1 and 2.
I think Johnson was literally just a few centimeters lower right there, which is honestly going to be the key difference here. But, I mean, they're both pretty even here, but this is the closest we've seen Johnson to the back of that 20 in quite some time, and the gap this time comes down by about half a tenth here. But, I mean, half a tenth's not going to do it right now. Johnson right there, they both line up again. Johnson basically following the exact same line as that number 20. 2 laps to go once across the line. This time Johnson gets 3 and 4 hooked up pretty well. He gets close, but I mean, Jay, he's got to get down below. But we know that outside, even if Johnson gets to the inside, if it's possible, that outside can hold on for a good lap. But that time right there, Johnson a little bit higher. That's not what he needs coming to the final lap.
Jimmie Johnson not close enough yet to get to the inside of Tony Stewart. Will he full send? Will he do some kind of bump and run? We'll have to wait and see into turn 1. It's close between these two, but no move yet from Jimmie Johnson. He's just going to try and maybe set up turn 3 and 4. You see him better through turn 1 and 2 right there. It was further to the inside, got the launch off the corner, and is there in 3 and 4. He doesn't send it though. Jimmie Johnson going to try and maybe arc the corner a little bit, but it's not going to be enough. Tony Stewart off turn 4 is going to win in Richmond, and Gary get his 2nd win of the season. That was an impressive drive from him to hold off Jimmie Johnson for as long as he did, and unfortunately for Jimmie Johnson, he's going to have to wait at least 1 more week to get his first career win. But that is going to once again do it from us here in Richmond, Virginia. I believe our 7th race of the season already. This season is starting to fly by, Gary. We're starting to get into the middle portions of it now. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like. It helps a ton, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video once again, and I will see you guys next week for that race. Have yourselves a great day, everybody, and thank you for watching.